maximizing your performance is employing yourself. Understanding that most people are employee-minded, so they respond to a boss, they respond to authority. Sometimes you need to be the only authority for you, causing you to play bigger. Treat this like a job. Write this down. Treat your business like a job, not like a business. And here's why. You'll show up every day for a job. You call it a business, you give yourself a free pass every single minute. You're the worst boss in the world when it comes to productivity. You give yourself a day off, you let yourself show up late, you let yourself leave early, you let yourself have a 4-hour lunch, you let yourself have 8 months a year of vacation. That's what you do right now, if you're honest. That's what you let yourself do. You give yourself a pass, and you're not serving the employee that is you. So let's start with this. If you're going to treat this like a job, would it be a good idea that your job has hours that you respect? Now, if I ask you what your hours are, there isn't 100 people in the room that could tell me what their hours are. Their hours are just when I feel like it. That's your hours. When I feel inspired, when I'm in the mood, in between my other stuff, once I'm done cleaning the house, after I'm done with my job, Saturdays if there's no other household chores, if I have enough energy, then I will. And you cannot expect to have a high-level return on your business if you're giving that type of a commitment. So this was a trick for me, actually. I've been a people pleaser my whole life. I grew up, just wanting approval of other people. Wanting approval from my family, wanting approval from my friends. I was never in the cool group in school. I wanted approval from the popular kids in school. I was never one of the popular kids in school. I wanted approval from my coaches in sports. I wanted approval in every direction, so I would perform in order to get their approval. I'd jump up and down to get their approval. But what happened for me when I got involved in network marketing is, one, most of the time I had to do it with nobody around. And here's something else for your notes. It's what you do when no one is looking that will make the difference in your business. It's what you'll do when nobody's watching, nobody's there, nobody's giving you a pat on the back that's going to make a difference between success or failure. That's what's going to be the major defining factor for you. So I tricked my mind. And here's how I tricked my mind. I tricked my mind one way. I saw a movie that was, I think it was Jason and the Argonauts. It was about the Greek gods looking down on this human on earth and giving him little tasks and challenges. And they were looking down through the clouds. And I kind of imagined, since I was a people pleaser and I knew this about myself, I imagined that all the people I respected were watching me every single day. It was like a reality show. Like imagine for this, just for the sake of it, what if you had a camera following you 7 days a week for the next 365 days? They were making a documentary about the life of a network marketing distributor. It'd either be a comedy or it'd be a horror show, one of the two. But here's what's true. It wouldn't be a mystery why you're not succeeding. The whole world would know why. They'd have whole discussion groups about it. They can't expect to succeed. They haven't done anything in 3 weeks other than make excuses. So what I did to trick my mind is I pretended that all the people I respected were watching me. I literally did. I tricked my mind like they were watching me and I was performing for them, and hopefully by the end of the day they gave me a thumbs up or they gave me a thumbs down. That was my little trick that I used to employ myself. Also, you can do the same thing. Imagine if someone is watching you. Imagine if it's being televised. Imagine if it's being streamed online. Would you be proud of that show? Most of us have a primary and a secondary focus in your life. And so long as your network marketing business is secondary, your subconscious is going to be sabotaging constantly. So in this first pillar of employing yourself, what I would ask you to do is be a tough boss. Set a high standard. Put a high expectation. If you were employing somebody else, how many people would you require? I'll use it as an example. Let's say you're going to pay someone $1,000 a week to work for you. You're writing a check out of your checkbook, $1,000 a week to work for you. Their only job was to do a presentation in front of a prospect. Let's say the presentation took 30 minutes. That was their only job. They weren't compensated based upon results. They were just compensated based upon doing the work. Okay? You got it? $1,000 a week. Their only job is to do a presentation. They're responsible to find the prospect. Doesn't matter how qualified or unqualified they are. They have to do a 30-minute presentation, and they have to do that every week. Here's the question. How many presentations would you require of that person to continue to pay them $1,000 a week? How many? Think of a number. Give me a number. How many a week? 5 to 8 a day for $1,000. You know how many people you could hire if you put that advertisement out into the world? You could hire unlimited people. 5 to 8 a day. That would be 2.5 hours to 4 hours a day of presentation time, and they get to make $1,000 a week, $52,000 a year. You could employ people from here to the end of the earth. They would line up. Somebody else give me a number. 12 a day. What else? 100 a week? That's a lot. It's 50 hours. Yeah, you could do it. It's possible. You're a tough boss. I like it. So here's the question. In the last 7 days, how many have you done? Approximately. Face-to-face, 30-minute presentation in front of a prospect. I want you to be honest. How many have you done? Give me some numbers. Miss 100 person? 15. So you'd be fired if you were your own boss. 15, that's a lot. I bet you she's growing because this business is so forgiving. How many people did less than 10 in the last 7 days? Be honest. How many people did less than 5 in the last 7 days? Be honest. How many people didn't do any in the last 7 days? Be honest. Be honest, the rest of you liars. God is watching. I'm telling you, be careful. Lightning can come right through this roof. Don't mess with it. I'll ask one more time. How many didn't do any presentations to a prospect in the last 7 days? Now, here's the thing. How can you expect to get results if you're not employing yourself? How can you expect to get results if you're not doing the activity at a minimum? Not even productive activity, just activity. Require of yourself what you would require of somebody else. Let me ask you this. How many people, your ultimate dream is to make $52,000 a year in network marketing? That's your ultimate dream. Anyone? No one. And yet we won't hold ourselves to a standard of what we would pay $52,000 a year for somebody else to do. You have to employ yourself if you want to have the results. You got to do it. And if you don't do it, you have nobody to blame. So trick your mind. Employ yourself. I used to I pretended there was like a clone of me. I'd get out of the shower, there he'd be, Eric 2. Eric 1 gets out of the shower, Eric 2 saying, "What's taking so long?" I'm like, hey, I'm thinking in there. Eric 2 says, come on, chop, chop. I go into the kitchen. I'm hanging out, start checking Facebook. Eric 2 says, hey. Facebook ain't paying your bills. Unless you're prospecting. I see you scroll, like, scroll, comment, scroll, watch the video, scroll, knock that shit off. I get in the car. Eric 2 says, well, how many presentations today? I say, okay, well, I'm doing 5 presentations. Eric 2 says, for sure, 5 presentations? Yes, 5 presentations. I go through the day. I'm driving home. I've only done 3 presentations. Eric 2's sitting in the driveway saying, nope. Get back out there. What do you mean? It's late. I had this happen. Eric 2 said, no. 5 is 5. 5 isn't 3. Go find 2 more people. Drive to the gas station, say, you're not interested in opportunity, are you? And go home. You're done. Right? Whatever you got to do to employ yourself. I literally was like that. I would push myself. I would role play in my own mind. How many people are you bringing to the next event? How many people are you committed to growing yourself? Yes or no, Eric? What are you prepared to do, Eric? Don't go where people will allow you to play small. Don't hang out with a crowd that will allow you to live underneath your potential. If it's not somebody else, make it be yourself. But set a standard. Michael Jordan said the reason why he achieved what he achieved is he never stopped with the expectations of the people around him. He went beyond the expectations of his coaches. He went beyond the expectations of his fans. He went beyond the expectations of anybody else around him. That's why he achieved. He set an expectation by employing himself and not allowing somebody else to set the standard. So pillar number 1 is employ yourself. Treat this like a job, not a business. Be a tough boss and set a high standard.